Welcome in, everybody, to We Don't Give a Flip podcast, where reselling meets humor and the reselling flips never stop. We are minus Sean today. He's stuck in traffic.
Sean and Mel.
Yeah. That's that 9 to 5, man. That 9 to 5 will get you every time.
9 to 5.
I feel like a Dolly song is coming on. If you're new here, we're the Rocket City Resellers, and also Fiano's Finds. I'm joined by my wife Amanda, and I'm Bob. Also, Gulf Coast Pickers is with us tonight. Ryan and Christine, and also Spicy May, who I found out today was a cattle dog. That's awesome. Part cattle dog. That's awesome. And of course, you hear our beagle back there, Hufflepuffing, like usual.
When you see treasures in the house, yo.
Hey, Ellie.
Treasures.
Who today told me she had a show and whatnot. She did 350. So
Nice.
I don't know what she sold, so she's gonna have to put in the chat where her show was because I took a nap. Sorry.
How was everybody's week? How was your week, Ben? Guys?
I had a good week except for today. I don't know what was going on whatnot. But
what happened?
I had 8 failed payments.
How is that even possible? Was it a glitch, you guys think?
I think so because I had one or two today in my show too. I know it's not the same, but I mean,
it could be a payment.
8 is a lot.
It is crazy.
8 is a lot.
Was it the same person or multiple?
No.
I don't know who they use to process their payment methods, like what company they use. I'm sure it's a third-party provider. If I had to take a wild guess, that's connected through the back end.
Well, and I think the thing of it is too is like, okay, so we're heading into Q4, right? And this is where theft sometimes is at its all-time high. Let's just about that.
Yeah.
And people traditionally in my shows pay with their debit card. And I don't know about you, but since our card got hacked a few months ago, our debit card, our bank system calls us like at least twice a week to verify.
They're on it though.
Yeah, to verify
they should
transactions. So it very well could be that if people are using their debit card rather than a credit card, some people don't like to have credit cards. Credit cards typically don't call you to verify, and the bank will shut you off before the credit card does. So it could be that whatnot is swiping so much that the bank's like, hey, let me protect my client.
Yeah.
It could be that. I know that's a lot, but
this is super weird.
Fourth quarter can be a strange time to be a reseller for sure. It's a roller coaster ride. We were talking about that just before we came on, and it's been a hell of a week for Rocket City. A lot of times we just talk about the positive side of reselling, but there is a other side to that, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit right now. Not to go too deep into it, but so I have 7,500 items sold on Whatnot, which is probably small potatoes for a lot of people. There's bigger sellers than us for sure. And that's within a 15-month window. I think that's okay.
That's really good.
All 5-star ratings until this week. So there's been a series of scammers, and it's so apropos that we have
allegedly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're scammers. Like if I were a betting man, I'm glad that we have Tommie, the Buffalo Picker, defender of the hustle, on today, because it seems timely that we have a defender of a hustle on when this happens. So they're saying stuff on Whatnot about things we're missing from the product, or their plush was damaged. I don't know how you can damage a plush, but we're pretty good about call outs and things of that nature when we sell.
I mean, you guys are the last ones. You guys fix everything before you sell it. So
Amanda is notorious.
I know that it's a lie because
so I will say that's a real hard pill for me to swallow. Hey, Christoph.
Especially when you're working hard, like you're at 110%, you're giving everything, you're all, and these folks just come in and just kind of make you feel like maybe inadequate or you're not doing your job right.
I think the majority, like there's a few of us, and I put y'all in that category too. There's a few of us that really care about what they do and how they put it out there and how they're portrayed. And one of those things that I have said multiple times is, please don't say you wash your plush if you don't wash it, because there's a lot of people out there that have allergies. They're very sensitive to smells, all the things, right? So just don't say it. It's okay to not do it. Just don't say that you do something, because that's
transparency
so
in all
infuriating.
things.
So one ruined for the mass, right? So like,
Hey, Krista, welcome.
so I say that I wash my plush. My electric bill will show and prove the quality of what we send to you. I would hope speaks for itself. There are many times where we show something and the back stitching of a Build-A-Bear is I will fix it for you before I mail it to you. There's been many times where I've been able to restore something from its like death to bring it back to life. So I know that there are a few of us that do actually do that. So I think a lot of people assume that people don't say what they mean and mean what they say.
If you want to see her restorations, by the way, you can check us out on our Facebook group at Resellers Refuge. And you can see some of Amanda's restorations and transformations of plush. And she's a pretty fair seamstress. She knows how to sew. She knows how to clean plush. If you need tips and tricks on how to clean toys and do the things that we do, feel free to check that out.
But
so
I say that to say, like, I know people get burnt. Like, it's a reality. I totally get it. And we're, in the grand scheme of things, you guys, we're selling used products. You know, so there is wear, there is natural play. You know, it's not, even sometimes when you buy something from a brick and mortar, Target, Walmart, whatever, even Amazon, sometimes you get an Amazon return package and it's supposed to be new and unused, right? It does happen, but because we're small potatoes compared to a Walmart and an Amazon,
it hurts.
It takes you down to your knees. And I sometimes
if it's like, especially if it's right after one after another. I think that's what it was this week. It wasn't that it was just one or two. It was like 4 in a row.
Well,
and then it was eBay.
They say things come in threes, you know.
So
that's
sometimes I think when you're right near the where you're supposed to be in life, when you're right near your goal, or you're close to it, you'll hit a wall, or you know, that push through to the other side. It's like spiritual warfare or something happened to you in the back end. But this week's been a crazy week. There's also been a lot of good things.
I consistently did 2 shows this week.
Yay! Showing up and showing out on Whatnot. If you're not following Fiona's finds on Whatnot, you really should. She's killing it over there. So, and then also was interviewed by ABC News producer on a Build-A-Bear Elite group. That was kind of interesting.
Not me.
That's super cool.
Yeah, so they're doing a piece on Build-A-Bear in general because they were up 30%, higher than predicted for their third quarter, first year stock, whatever that was, their Q3 or Q4. So they she did a mini interview with me. I sent her a video of our items and then gave her permission to use it. I'm not sure if anything will come of it, but it was kind of cool to be reached out and considered for that. So that was really nice.
Definitely.
And then yeah, Amanda, she had a lot of success on Whatnot. She sold a Douglas plush for $440.
Super awesome. Congratulations.
That thing skyrocketed. We had no idea what we had at first. So we had
Kitty meow meow.
Gato, or as I call him, El Gato. Now he's infamous. So apparently this thing was comped on eBay last year.
eBay. I beat you
2024 for 400. It had a sell through, and Amanda beat that on. That's the power of Whatnot, though. If you can get an item, it doesn't happen often, so enjoy that win when you can.
Enjoy that win.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but that's the power of an auction,
It's
right?
hard to get. Yes, Whatnot is everyone's looking for a deal.
Well, and
that's it too. You got the collector, and then you got the maybe
they
reseller.
didn't get it. The collector didn't get it. Blocked.
There are certain people on Whatnot. There's an entire side to plush. Yeah. She needs her sunglasses.
I know my shades. Yeah, I know. We should do like Savage Shade or something like that. But not to get too deep into it, but just the fruition of what happened. So we go thrifting all the time when we shouldn't, because Lord knows we don't need another thing. But when we went to our local bins a couple of weeks, it was probably like last weekend or the week before when we shouldn't have been out. We were, and Bob actually found it.
I get cabin fever a lot. Yeah. So because I work from home.
He found it at the local bins, and I'm like, I said, not another fucking Douglas, Bob. Like, do we need another one? He's like, it's a cat, and I'm like, okay.
And it's a bigger one.
So I said, okay,
why not?
So it got and thank God I preloaded, because there is something to say about preloading and marinating. Now, Rocket City resellers, we fly at the seat of our pants over there, but over
I
here
like to
at
keep people guessing.
Fiona's Finds, I usually do my shows by myself, so I have to preload because I get anxiety just not. So anyways, it was preloaded. And Thursday I started getting, when was the show? The show was yesterday, sorry. So Monday and Tuesday I started getting DMs on Whatnot about it. And then it just kept going. And then I found out what it was, and the bids just kept coming in. And when we ran it, it ran at 315, and I couldn't believe it. And it ended up at 440, and it was just, it was insane. Like it was more anxiety for me than the beaver. Yeah. Like, because the beaver was, for charity, and it was like, oh, I can't believe you guys are being so generous. And in this, I was like, oh my God, this cat is worth $440. Really?
If you're listening, you want to know the reference to the beaver. If you check out 4 Seasons episode, we talk about the charity and Nashville meetup and all the things regarding that. So
Ellie says 25. I was offered $25 for the cat to sell it outright.
Crazy.
Shame on you, people that know that it's worth more.
It's way more than
and
25.
You send messages trying to get it for 25. Shame on you.
You're not a reseller's reseller, because
right.
I'm going to tell
you're not part of the community when you do that.
And here's the thing: there's been many times, and I've self-admitted, people call it shilling, but I feel like it's called shilling when the other person knows that you're doing it. There's been many times I've been in people's shows and they start it lower, and I'm like, oh no, this needs to go for higher. So
I don't think that's shilling, because you have the intent of taking
that's
it.
what I'm saying. Like, yeah. I don't know what you call it. Like, if I don't want to drop names because I don't want to make it seem like that's what it is. But if I'm in a show and someone is running something and I know, they know that it's worth more, I will purposely drive it up. But I will only purposely drive it up on something that I am
Early reseller, welcome in.
I am okay with reselling myself. Because sometimes I get stuck with it, which is fine, and sometimes I don't, and I'm like, that person deserved more money for that.
Right.
So, but some people don't care about that aspect of it, but some people don't know what they have either. So that's why I think sometimes it works good for both. So
the power of social media is also incredible. We had someone reach out on our show last night and say that they would like to feature us in their TikTok, and all it takes is one to go viral for our podcast to be, to a next level. Who knows
if anything will come of that?
Even though we have extremely high growth, considering we're niched down into reselling. I think
Gina in the house.
There's that. So defender of the hustle.
Yeah.
Tommie, the buffalo picker. I can't wait to hear all about his story and what's going on. No, Ryan and him have been friends for a while. Do you want to say anything, Ryan, before we bring him
in? He's an awesome guy. Glad he came on. I've been on his podcast. He does a podcast as well called Defend the Hustle on Sunday. I think it's Sundays at 7. He'll let us know. I've been on there a couple times. He's all about reselling.
Heck yeah, let's
bring him in.
Yeah, for sure. There he is.
Hey, glad to be here, man. Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
How's life?
Everything's well, man. Just, busy Q4, so it's a lot going on over here, a lot of moving parts, but I'm trying to hold it together.
Right.
Big hustle.
There you go. Well, why don't you tell everybody about yourself and how you got into reselling?
Okay, so I got into reselling in 2017. I went back to school. I was employed by the federal government, and at the time they put out a mandate that in order for you to get promoted to a supervisory position, you had to have a complete 4-year degree. And at the time when I got the position, they hired me based off of my military experience. Basically, I transitioned from the military into a federal position that kind of mirrored each other. So they basically hired me more so off of my experience than my college education, because at the time I only had a 2 years. So I had to go back to school to get the 4 in order to get into the manager, what they call a GS-12 manager position. So during the time when I was about to complete the degree, Steve Harvey was the spokesperson for the university. And he came in, he had this big spiel about, a whole bunch of things, but you're a comedian, so some of the stuff was funny and whatever. But the main thing that stuck with me was when he talked about his meeting with Warren Buffett, and that Warren Buffett had told him that you're gonna need at least seven streams of income if you want to become rich. So when he mentioned that, now you got my attention because you're talking about money, and I'm over here counting my streams of income, like what I got going on. So that day or that evening, I went home and I was like, man, let me go to YouTube. I always hear these people on YouTube talking about they got these side hustles and they making money doing this and doing that. So I went in there, and during the time, I always would watch the History Channel, and I would watch American Pickers. I was so fascinated with those guys going around America finding these different little whatnots or whatever, things that were hard to find. But, I was interested in the hunt, but I just some of the things that they were looking for, it really didn't interest me. But I was like, man, it'd be cool to be able to just go out and find stuff like that and, be able to resell it. So as I was on YouTube looking around, I ran across a reseller named Resales out of California. And what made me lock into his story was he was saying that, he made $600,000 just selling books on Amazon. And I was like, oh, that's something that I'm probably interested in right there. So I started watching him, and then you know how they loop other resellers to the video. So I watched him a little while. Then it was a guy called Rise and Grind Picker. His thing popped up because he was an Amazon. Because I was mostly interested in the Amazon because everybody was saying Amazon bringing the most traffic. So I started watching him a little bit, and then all of a sudden they looped me into Bearded Picker. So I started watching all three of these guys, seeing, is anybody saying something different? Is everybody saying the same thing? So being that, all three of the guys sold on Amazon, they were basically saying the same thing. So I was like, man, something about this got to be true. So I just sat around. I watched it for 3 months. I was on the fence. One day I was like, I'm going to get up in the morning. I'm going to go straight to the discount store. That morning I came in the room and I got on Xbox. I started playing Madden. I started watching a little more videos. So right about that 3-month mark, I went on and took a chance. I went out and took Marshalls. I remember the exact day. I went into Marshalls, and I remember one of the guys was saying, every now and then he'll look for makeup. I ain't know nothing about makeup, but I did know how to do the comps. So I went in there and I scanned this one product. It was saying $10, but sell for 40 on eBay. Took a chance on it, brought it home. I listed that thing probably around noon, maybe 6 o'clock. I had this thing ching ching on my phone. Whoa, what's that? So I go look, and it's like, you got to sell, ship now. So once that happened, I sold it I made $30. It actually gave me a $30 profit, but with the fees and the shipping, because it was free shipping, so that was kind of calculated in. So, but still, I was happy about how quick the item sold. So after that one sale, I was hooked. So I was like, this is something that I can do. Let me invest time into learning, what these guys do all the time. So I went through, I think at the time, Reezy had probably 100 plus videos. I probably watched about 60 of his videos. Bearded Picker, I think I watched all his videos because he was more, the way he resell was more the way I wanted to resell.
Right.
I just wanted to go around to different stores, do retail arbitrage, find the good deals. If I had to travel 50 miles to do it, I'd travel 50 miles. And back then, Brickseat was big in the retail arbitrage community. So I joined Brickseat, got me a tool to help me when I'm out in the store. So that's pretty much how I got into it, man. And I just basically jumped in. I found another love. Like I'm saying, video games were my love because I kept putting reselling on hold. But then once I actually got that sale and got serious about it, the video game went from like me playing it maybe 5 times a week to almost down to like 0 now. I may play once a week, maybe, because I'm just so in tune to, running this as a full scale business.
This is your full-time hustle? You don't do anything else?
No, I'm retired, man. I retired at 58 years old. So retired twice, retired from the military and federal government. So this is my full-time hustle now. As
Thank you for your service.
Of 25.
Thank you for your service. We appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
You couldn't hear me, but I said, no way he's older than 58. Like,
Yeah, man, you look good.
I'm an old dude.
Welcome in, G-Mode.
That's my sister.
Oh, nice.
Welcome in, sis.
For those people that may not know what Brickseek is, I've used Brickseek before to try to find deals and stuff. Using that where you do the UPC, and is it store specific to Walmart? Is that right?
No. It's at the time, because I don't use it anymore. It's kind of like old. It's old.
Old tech.
It's old equipment now. Back then it was great. But once the big box stores start tampering with incorporating new inventory software, Brickseek just couldn't catch up. So it's new tools out there now that I use that are I would say a tab better than Brickseek that I use, and it's pretty accurate. Because that's basically what you need. You need a tool that's gonna keep up with the updates that they do on the inventory in all the stores.
Is it similar to something that I've seen people go into like a TJ Maxx and see what the current selling price is on Amazon and how much profit they'll make by purchasing it?
Yeah, it's something like that. They use it for the discount stores as well, but it's more foot traffic with the discount stores. But for its automation, you can use it for like the big box stores like Lowe's, Home Depot, Target, Walmart. It's definitely a tool that resellers want. If you do retail arbitrage, if you're not into retail arbitrage, then it'll just be a waste of money because it's kind of expensive.
Specifically sells? No.
So specifically, do you just go after one item, or you are everything arbitrage seller? Or
well, my warehouse, I have a warehouse space of 2,500 square foot.
Ooh,
and it's pretty much about 90. I would say probably about 97%, maybe 98% toys.
Heck yeah.
That's pretty much what I run after. I have a few, that's Miss Buffalo. And my sister was on here. My other sister came in for a minute as well.
Miss Buffalo, welcome in.
Yeah, so I say probably 98% of the warehouse is toys, but I do go after appliances or shoes, stuff like that. But I don't invest a lot in that type stuff. I invest in what I know, and I know toys sell all year round. So most people, when if they're not in the resale business, when they hear toys, they only thinking about Christmas. But you got birthdays, you got celebrations for doing a great job, or you got spoiled kids that just parents gonna get them what they want. So
potty training.
They sell all year round. So that's why I got into toys. One of my big accomplishments when I became a reseller was I didn't know what to sell. So I was looking around for different platforms on what I could sell, and I found this one lady. She was selling her not her whole collection. She was selling some of her Barbie. So I was like, Barbie's, it's a good brand. Let me go out there and just get a few and see what they do on eBay. So I went and met up with her. Of course, she was shocked that, a guy coming to buy some Barbies, first thing I'm out, because she was she was like 60. I think when I met Miss Victoria, she was around 67. And she's like, well, what you gonna do with these Barbies? Why are you buying Barbies? I was like, and I told her that, hey, I'm a reseller and this and that. And she was like, these gonna sell because these some good Barbies. Because she was like, she pretty much taught me everything I know about Barbies. Because one thing she told me after my first buy from her was that in order for her to sell me some more Barbies, I got to come back and tell her something about the history of the Barbies, which I didn't know nothing about Barbies. But when I went back to her, because the thing was, I didn't know the Barbies was going to sell that fast. So I didn't do any studying on Barbie or whatever. So when I went back to see her, she was like, okay, so what do you know? And I was like, you serious about that? She was like, yes, I'm serious. She's like, I'm not going to sell you more Barbies until you know something about the craft
That's
that
smart.
you're selling. So, I was getting ready to leave. I was a little disappointed in myself more so than her.
Right.
So when I was getting ready to leave, she was like, here's my number. That the other number you had was my nephew number. This is my personal number. Call me. And you got 2 hours to call me and tell me something that you know about Barbies. I'm on my phone, Googling everything I could about it. And because I know, she had some good inventory. And the backstory on her, which I talked about it in one of my Barbie videos, was that her aunt was the was the head caretaker for the creator of Barbie.
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Yeah, so she would get like when Ruth would create a Barbie or Mattel,
Yeah.
she would bring them home and give them to all the people that served her at her estate. So her aunt was one of those people. So she was getting all these Barbies, and then when she got older and was getting ready to move on to the next life, she passed them on to her. So this lady, Miss Victoria, I hadn't talked to her in probably about 3 or 4 years because she moved from Georgia to Chicago, but she had some high dollar Barbies in her inventory. I'm talking about Barbies that was worth like $6,000 because they got the signature of Ruth and they got the signature of the designer on the box.
Wow, that's incredible. That's
So,
incredible.
yeah, and those things, she wouldn't even let me touch them. I could see them, but I couldn't touch them.
Don't breathe on them.
Yeah, don't do nothing. You stay over there, but you can see them. But yeah, she was great. I mean, she taught me a lot about Barbie. I gave her kudos in the video. I wished I could have got her on there just to do a little small clip, but she an elderly lady. She don't care nothing about being on social media or YouTube or any of that stuff. So. But yeah, that was how I got. That's what really. I got into Barbies. I got all those Barbies, and then at the end of Christmas Q4, which was my first year selling on eBay, I was in the top 10% in total doll sales on the platform. They actually sent me a letter.
Wow, that's incredible.
That's awesome.
I was hustling those days, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, have you always been the hustler? Like, just curious. Like, did you start young, or was it something that came later?
It came later. I found the love for it just by watching American Pickers. I was big, and one of my best subjects in school was history. So I was watching the History Channel, and then this would just pop up. So I just started watching it, and then once I started understanding what they was doing, I was like, oh man, that would be cool if I could do that, and then once I found out it was a way that I could do it, and I seen that, I had that quick sale, after I actually list the product, I was hooked. It's like now I do a lot of work, but to me, because I love what I do, it's really not work.
Right. Can you tell the people more about selling on Amazon and Walmart for us?
Sure. So I'll start with Amazon. Amazon pretty much is the blueprint for the big box stores trying to do, because you can also do a third party resale on Target now as well if you meet their criteria. But the Amazon, if you are going to sell on Amazon, you definitely want to be a prime seller. You want to do the $39.99, which it costs to get into it. Since I've been reselling, I think now what they do is a video interview with the applicant before they bring you on to, turn the keys over you to the platform. But what I can also say is it's nothing like eBay. It's definitely harder. It's a harder process because Amazon, they got a trust issue with third-party resellers. If they don't trust you, they're not going to open up things for you to sell. So the way you build that trust is by your numbers. When you start shipping your stuff in, I think that's what helped me was when I first got into Amazon, watching the guys, seeing how they move on those videos. I kind of took a little bit of each person and made it my own. So what I started when I first got into it was I took the advice they all three was saying was that if you're going to get into Amazon, try to get ungated in different products and make massive shipments to Amazon. That way you'll start getting auto ungated. And that's what's the truth. They was very solid on that. A lot of when I see people trying to sell ebooks for learning how to sell on Amazon, I just smile about it because all the information you really need to know is free. It's out there on eBay. You just go look for it. It's a lot of solid resellers out there that I'm saying from like when I met in 2017 on up to 2019 that are actually giving you the information for free. And what I did, because I got the information from them for free, I was like, once I start my YouTube channel, I'm going to be very transparent on the resale process. And that's what I built my podcast off of, being transparent about reselling. So when you come to my show, I try to do more teaching than trying to sit here and gatekeep stuff. But Amazon, that's basically the gist with Amazon. You're gonna have to pay $39.99. You can also sell for free, but they're gonna charge you for every item that you sell, and you'll lose money like that. So it's easier to pay the $39.99. The next route for Amazon to be successful is you need to get ungated by getting you a couple of distributors. Distributors is some people when they hear that, they're like, I ain't doing all that. I know it's just as far as, you go in there, they're not going to, the distributor's not going to talk to you or deal with you because you're too small. That's all is not true. It's different ways that you can get distributors. Sometimes you can call the company itself and they'll put you in touch with their authorized distributor. Sometimes it's just as simple as taking a product that you see in the store, looking on the back of it, getting that number off the back and calling that number and asking them for their authorized distributor. It's just that easy. So,
Wow.
but what I can tell you is you got to have some capital. Most of the distributors, they're gonna require you to buy at least 50 to 100 items sometimes, in order to do business with them. They got a number that you got to meet before they'll just give you an order. You can't just go in there and say, Amazon say, you got to have 10 phones in order to get ungated. Well, that may be true, but that company may require you to buy 50 phones. So that's another little hidden thing that people don't clearly talk about when they're talking about getting ungated to sell on Amazon. And the last thing I would mention about Amazon is that their policies are very strict on their policies. They may give you 2 chances. Sometimes they'll give you 1 chance and you're done. And they'll hold your money in your products for about 6 months before they will release it to you. So
Wow.
you want to keep and it's all about performance. You want to keep your account in good standings with them, because as soon as you hit the red, I'm thinking it's a automated computer messages or whatever. But if you hit the red, because I hit the red before, and they're gonna be bombarding you with messages, just basically let you know, we about to let you go if you don't take care.
Yeah.
That's the thing with them, is that they are very strict about their policy. So if you ain't, if you that type person that, you want to kind of play it the way you want to play it, Amazon ain't for you, because they're very strict and they will mess up your seller account. So be careful about that. Now, Walmart is I would say Amazon is easy to get on. Walmart is more stricter to get on. Walmart want to look at your numbers. They want to get your store. They want to go to, if you got a website, which I know that was the criteria when I got on. You had to have the numbers, which I don't know what the numbers was, but they basically wanted the link to all of my stores, and they wanted my website link. So once they can validate your numbers and see that, you don't have bad performances in your stores, and that you're making good sales, then basically what they'll do is do an onboarding with you to bring you onto the platform. But what I can tell you with Walmart is that they're pretty much following the same blueprint as Amazon. Everything that Walmart is incorporating, we as Amazon sellers have seen it before. When they come to bring it in, we're like, okay, we know what that is. We know what that's about, because we already seen it with Amazon. So I think 2 years ago, when Walmart was really kind of rolling out their program for third-party resellers, when Walmart was rolling out the program, Amazon was letting some of their top boys go from the jobs, or top personnel go from their jobs, and Walmart hired them. So when they hired them, they brought them in, and they pretty much brought the blueprint of Amazon over with them. So they're incorporating pretty much all of the policies that Amazon have already in place, and Walmart is doing now. It's a little frustrating, but they are doing it. And I can say too, the last thing I would say about Walmart, which is could be a little slap on the hand, but their return policy is the weakest of all the platforms I ever sold on. If you can deal with being scammed, then that platform will work, because you're gonna get the sales. I put it like this right here: when I do get scammed, it's probably 1% of my sales. However, a lot of time it'd be some big dollar items. That's the headache right there, is the big dollar items. I can tell you one of my situations, I had a Xerox printer, new in the box. Retail value was $550. Now that's we ain't paying that much to buy it. However, the thing is what I sold it for, the person took it and they switched it out with their old one and kept my new one and shipped back in the box. So I had to fight that, and then they hit me with the invoice. You got to produce an invoice. Most of the resellers, we're not getting invoices unless we're buying it directly from, the distributor.
Right.
So I didn't have an invoice. I had a receipt from the store, but that wasn't good enough. So I had to take that loss.
Dang. What is your favorite platform to sell on?
I would say Amazon, hands down. Amazon is still number one for me. Walmart is a close second because the sales are there, and I have a couple of special deals that I have with Walmart here locally. So, I can go in and get a lot of goods for markdown off the clearance prices. So I basically take that and turn it around and, sell it right back to Walmart. So, but like I said, Walmart is a close second, but Amazon is still number one.
What other platforms are you on?
I'm on Amazon, Walmart, and eBay. But eBay, I kind of cleaned everything off the website. So now we're slowly putting things back on there because I just want to use eBay for pretty much use goods. I don't want to sell nothing new over there. I want to sell refurbished, new, or open box type stuff. And I have plenty of that, especially with the scamming that goes on with Walmart. It's the stuff come back in, it's still good. They may open the box, figure out, they after they made one cup of coffee, they didn't want it no more, so they box it back up. So, I can deal with that because, I can take it on there, discount it down, sell it on eBay and still make either break even or make a little profit.
Right.
Yeah. What tips do you have for someone trying to get into retail arbitrage?
To do either the platforms? Okay.
Well, just to do retail arbitrage, like going and finding the stuff and.
Okay. So
I know you've said tips and tricks on your podcast.
Yeah. So yeah. So the main thing is you want to get you a tool that's going to help you see the products in the store before you get there. That's one of the main tools to have in your tool belt. I would say if you discount, what's going on, brother? I would say if you have a network of people that you deal with, maybe you can't go to the store because you at work, but maybe your wife can go to the store, or maybe your people in your network can go to the store. You all come together and collab. That way you can have 4 or 5 people in 4 or 5 different stores telling you what's in the stores, or even being able to say, hey, I got 10 of these in here. I'm only going to buy 5. Okay, well, get the other 5 for me. That's right there pretty much is the move. Without having the electronics and the paying the premium to have different type tools, to tell you what's in the store, is build your network of people that you can trust that going to go out there, find this stuff, and then you all be able to network amongst each other, to build everybody up. That's would be the main tip that I would give. The second tip would be get you a couple of tools that will help you, to find this stuff out there. But, that's going to come with a premium as well. Some people may can't afford to pay that, and they may just be, depending on going into the store and just looking around. Now, Walmart has a good app, the Scan and Go app. The Scan and Go app is really the app that you want to use in Walmart to find all the clearance. Regardless of what's on the tag, you scan that thing and you'll be surprised. I remember going in the store and I see all these rollback prices, and I just scanned it with my Scan and Go app, and the rollback price was like $30-something, which, on the rollback, they only drop it down a couple of dollars. But when I scanned, I found out the item actually was on clearance, and nobody took the time to come back in and change the tag and put clearance. So I found quite a few gems like that. So, but it requires a tool that you got to pay a premium for. So, but the main thing I would say is network with people. Even if you just starting out like a boyfriend, girlfriend, if you, occupied, like you working a regular 9 to 5 and your girlfriend is off, have her to go check stuff out at the store for you. But you got to have multiple people, in order for that type of technique to work, and that's pretty much the advice I can give you, because if you try to do it by yourself, which I did when I first got into it, I just, I hit the road running, so when I got out there, I put a lot of tracks in these stores to come up with maybe 2 items, which I look back at it and like, if I had to do it all over again, I would have just, went on these guys' social media and just sent them messages and say, hey, I'm a new reseller. I'm really, want to get into the resale game. Is anything you all can help me? You know, and then if they like, okay, yeah, what you need help with, then like, you know, I see your videos, you're constantly in the stores. Do you mind telling me like what you find? And so, you know, when I'm in my stores, I can look for the same thing. You know, what the worst they can say is no.
Right.
You know, so I mean, you got to kind of be innovative with that, because retail arbitrage is a dirty game. It's a dirty game. You could be. I remember this year, like I said, I had the tools to know what each store had. So I was on a run. I was buying all these Legos. I was buying like Legos, like buying them out. And I had seen this deal at one store that was probably like 20 miles from me. And I was like, you know what? I just go up there about 2 o'clock, you know, check it out. This was like 8 in the morning. You know, I got the alert. It was like, boom, all these Legos had been marked down to $10. I'm talking about Legos that you can probably sell for $60. And soon as I got into the store and turned the corner, it was a husband and wife. They had 3 carts full of Legos, man. I was like,
oh, dang.
Oh, man, you've been buffaloed. Yeah.
So Tommy, have you noticed that certain Walmarts or certain like Targets will have lower performing stores and will have clearance opposed to other stores? And do you kind of keep that in the back of your mind when you're going to these stores?
I do. I go to Google Maps, and this, you know, it's a little tip. I go to Google Maps and I look for like the state of, like I'm in Georgia. I look in the state of Georgia and I try to figure out for that demographics, what's the highest salary in that county, right? And that's going to tell me a lot about, is these people going to spend money on toys, or they're going to spend money on food, you know, or they're going to spend money on their necessities like bills and stuff. So when I see these different counties and I see that, you know, the largest pay scale is probably 32,000. Those are the ones that I kind of put on my thing of, yeah, you know, I'm going to go check that out. And maybe next week I'm going to go check that one out. And what I have discovered is that in those different counties, not all the stores, because it's always that one store that's doing good, but the other ones is like every time I go in there, they got stuff on clearance. Every time like the clearance, like when I walk into the clearance, I remember taking a photo one time put it on my thumbnail where the whole clearance was full, and I took a picture of just me in the clearance alone by myself. You know, because that's a little tool that most people don't think about, where you can go right there to Google and put that information in, and it'll bring it up. It'll show it on the map for your state. You're like the poorest counties, like what's the salary, you know, for those counties. And if they got more than 2 Walmarts, you need to go over there. Yeah. Check them all out. Check them out.
Well, I'm a data engineer, so you're speaking my language when you said look at the data.
Man, well, you know,
my language,
hey, you probably can create you a little app.
I probably could.
That's some little information, you know. It's like you don't think about it. And it's just like when I tell people, you know, you only know what you know. You know, and that's one thing right there, that somebody may take that little information and it work wonders for them, you know, depending on their location. But I use it in I use it in, it ain't just for Walmart. I go like they little discount stores and come up too, because a lot of time what you'll find out is in those discount stores like Marshall's and Ross, if that stuff ain't moving fast enough compared to their competitors, they'll do a markdown. They'll come in there and do a markdown. You know, and it don't have to be like people talk about that end of year markdown or the New Year markdown that Ross does. I know some places here in Georgia that Ross do markdowns about every 3 months. You know, I'm talking about significant markdowns, but something would be $19.99. You go back in the store, it's $9.99 with the different tag on it, you know. So
what do you usually try to find out, like Ross and Marshalls in those places?
Say again?
What are you looking for at like Ross and Marshalls in those places?
Well, during Q4, I'm looking for anything that looks special. You know, like the different board games. You know, anything that just pop out and I can comp it and know that it's gonna make a good profit and that it's a strong possibility it's gonna sell, have a good sell through rate. But the main thing is toys.
Toys, still toys there?
Main
Okay.
thing is toys. I'm constantly looking for toys. Wherever I go, I'm looking. My main goal is to get in there and find toys. Now, when I say Q4, when I go into TJ Maxx, Marshalls, you know, they get these special type toys in. Like one time they had the Golden Girls,
Yeah.
little Monopoly or whatever that was. You know, what was it? Street Fighter and all that's the stuff you rarely see. Now, if I see that type stuff, I'm just getting it all. You know, I'm just getting it all. Better beat me there because I'm just getting it all. You know, and also, like I said about the networking, you know, it's a couple of people I reach out to and say, hey, you know, they got these. You might want to head over and see if you got them. If they don't, then what I'll do is I'll pick up an extra 5 or whatever, you know, that I can just hold for them or ship it to them. You know,
That's what we do with Fisher Price Little People.
Yeah.
We do retail arbitrage with the sets. Amanda has a few people in different states looking for.
right?
So we're indirectly doing it, and we had no idea that we were doing it right. So now we know.
Yeah. You know, it's got to be a give take type thing. You know, where you don't find yourself always doing the giving. You know, unless it's, you know, it's an exchange. You know what I'm saying? You're doing it for the profit or whatever. But if you got a strong network, everybody know the mission. You know, everybody know what their job is. You know, is we gonna help everybody come up.
Right.
You know, not just 2 strong people, you know, trying to hold up the other 4. You know, it should never work like that. Should everybody be coming in contributing, you know, to help the network grow?
Can you say that louder for the people in the back?
The back of the church. Preach on, preacher man.
I don't think they can hear.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, you know, it don't have to be, but you know, sometimes, you know, people will leave you no other choice but to just leave them behind, you know,
Right.
because you can't keep carrying, you know, eventually it's going to become your problem.
Well,
You
if
know.
people aren't for you, then there's no point.
Yeah.
So.
You keep carrying the load, eventually, you know, you're going to get burnt out and it's going to hurt your business. So you got to keep people like-minded to know that, okay, so Gulf Coast said, hey, you know, I got this deal and this deal, you know, let me hit up, you know, Rocket City, you know, hey, I got 15 of these. I really don't want but 5. Y'all want the other 10? You know, okay, yeah, I'll ship them up there. You take care of the shipping. It's all yours. You know, that's how you got to do it. You know, if you can get you at least 3 to 4 strong people like that, then you'll be on your way.
Why didn't you bring the brains of the operation on tonight?
Huh?
Why didn't you bring the brains of the operation on tonight?
Oh man, she out with the girls. She out with the girls. They had to go. Yeah, man, I'm the bronze, man. She's great. You see how I run the whatnot, you know, I put her in front of the camera, bro, because
Let's talk about
some
the
of those
whatnot.
questions be coming up, bro. I'll be like, man, are you serious?
Let's talk about whatnot because we love whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, you want that transformer up there for $2?
Exactly.
You're out your mind.
Yeah, she take care of, you know, she better with the customer service aspect of it than I am, you know, because I know me being on that show for that long, 3 hours, you know, I'm soon to bust a gasket up there.
45 minutes is my math.
You only can do
45
Yeah, man,
minutes.
because you know, sometimes, yeah, they are coming to support your channel, but everybody like I forgot your name, ma'am.
Me?
Yeah, what's your
Amanda.
name?
A few hundred's fine. Just a man.
Everybody ain't for you. You know,
Right.
everybody's not for you. Everybody that come to that show may have, may not all be on the same agenda.
Yeah.
You know, you may have some people that just come in there to interrupt. You know, they knowing that, I'm gonna ask a ridiculous question just to
trying to
throw
squash
them
your
off.
vibe.
Yeah.
They seem like they moving around too smooth. So let me just, throw a monkey wrench in there and just mess up the whole show. And I'm my BS meter is like real broad. I can pick up on the BS quick.
Same.
So I know that I can't be the person in front of the camera because as soon as I pick up on the BS, I might run 4 or 5 people off.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you about yourself, right?
So that's one of the main reasons why I have to put her in front of the camera because she can deal with it better.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go do the work. Let me go pull the orders.
Yeah.
Let me do the heavy lifting. She take care of the audience, man.
Are you pushing toys on whatnot? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I push 99% toys on whatnot.
We're talking about the stuff that gets returned, maybe open box, things like that.
My stuff is in new condition, just like you would find it in stores. I think that's what helped build my audience up so fast.
Okay.
Is because people couldn't believe what they was getting with a start with a $2 start. I'm basically my stuff was new with tags.
Nice.
It wasn't the liquidation, clearance, return stuff. It was none of this stuff right here was
You pulled it off of Walmart.
basically things that I would pull off of clearance shelves at Walmart or the other deals that I would get at Walmart that I was getting it for, a great price that I could be in a position to run it for $2 start. So no, it wasn't nothing like that. I think I may have had, I would say out of everything I ran through the whole time from June to September, I may have 1% of items that had a little damage. And with whatnot, you definitely have to identify that with the customer.
Yeah.
So we was real good at that. Even I was shocked that people were buying Legos that may have been missing a part. But they were still buying it. I would go through, open it up. Once I see the box busted, I would open it on up, go through it, inventory it, put it on a little sticky, and then Miss Buffalo would read it off to them, and they would still run it up. I was like, what?
I will say that so we are a Lego family here, and Lego will replace your pieces if it still has the manual. You can go back in the manual when it has the part, and you just let Lego know what part you're missing, and they send it to you. So that could be why you are getting them ran up, because people know that they can get the pieces back.
Yeah. See, I learned something today. I learned something.
So they will replace the pieces for you as long as it's not discontinued. But a lot of the Lego sets are interlocking parts, and unless it's like a special thing. But they'll replace the parts for you at no cost. So that's probably why they're doing that.
Good to know.
So now there is value in picking up something like that may be missing a part, because you can get the piece as long as you're the manual.
I used to see those things in clearance like busted, and I would just pass it because my mindset is pristine condition, sending it off to Amazon. But once I seen that people will buy that stuff on whatnot, I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy that, and just try to get Walmart to even bring the price down even more, just because of the damage. But now what you just mentioned, I did not know that at all.
Yeah, that happened to us a couple times, and they sent. I mean, it does take a little while, but not like astronomically. But they'll replace it for you at no cost. You just go right on the Lego app, and they'll take care of it for you.
That's cool right there. That's cool.
When you so just to go back to the Amazon versus the whatnot, when you're sourcing and finding the stuff in the retail stores, when you buy your quantity, does it matter if it's 1 or a ton? Because you're going to send some in to be sold on Amazon or Walmart versus what you're going to bring to whatnot. Like, how do you decipher if it's a fast moving thing or not? Where you're going to put it to sell it.
So basically, what you just mentioned, I did that the whole time from June to September, because throughout that few months, I was still getting buys in from Walmart, right? So my first thought is, when I buy stuff for Walmart, from Walmart, is to send it in to Amazon and Walmart. That's my first thought.
Mhm.
My second thought is, whatever left over, I can put it on Whatnot. So it basically changed the way I shop. When I say like in June, I already had, I still have a lot of stuff in the warehouse that I'm packing up and trying to ship it out to the different fulfillment centers, because I want to change my business model. I want to set up my business model where now I can have a certain amount of inventory just for Whatnot, and then the rest of my inventory is going to Walmart and Amazon. That's why I'm trying to clean everything out of the warehouse now. But to your question, moving forward, when I go out to shop, if I can find a special deal for something that I know that it may not make a whole lot of money on Amazon or Walmart, I'll go ahead and buy it and store it away for the Whatnot sale. Because I know I can sell it for, I can at least have a $2 start with it.
Right.
It's a lot of, believe it or not, it's a lot of toys I have left in the store because it wasn't no resale value for me on my two platforms. Now with Whatnot, those things have value. So I buy them and I just squirrel them away. I just get the big box, pack them all in there and just pack it up and put it over in the corner, on pallet, just palletize it up until, it's time for me to come back to Whatnot. Also too, with the part of me changing my business model is I'm now positioning myself to buy pallets, because at one time I was buying a lot of pallets. I was buying pallets and I was getting basically case packed toys that was coming in. I wasn't getting the beat up return stuff. I was getting like case packs, overstocked stuff that, they were sending to me. I was the first one to cut the box open to take the stuff out.
Nice.
So that's what I'm looking for again now, so that I can still have that premium type inventory for when I do run my Whatnot sales. If I have some like 1-2% of items in there that with damage, I may still try to run it, because like I said, 1% of the stuff that I sold this Whatnot span that I did, it's still sold. People still were buying it with the little damage. They was like running it up. I like, okay, cool. So, but yeah, that's the move that I'm making now, is to clean out the warehouse as much as possible, because I have so much stuff. I'm almost sure I'm not going to finish it for Q4. However, it's not going to stop, what I'm trying to do with my business model. I had these big heavy duty shelves. I had 6 of those in there along with the ones on the wheels. And I was like, the heavy duty ones need to go. And the wheels I keep, because I can move them anywhere in the warehouse. So I put those things up on Facebook Marketplace, and they sold the next day. I had I went to sleep and I woke up, I had like 30 some messages in my inbox. Some people trying to, bring the price down. Some people want to know when they can show up to buy it, all that type of stuff. But this guy came from, I'm in Atlanta. Well, I'm on the outskirts of Atlanta, but more southeast. And it's a guy came from Athens, which is almost 2 hours away to buy him, like the next morning.
Wow. That's cool. People always need shelves.
Yeah, so it just opened up a lot of space for me, man. So this whole side where I had these shelves, 5 shelves that was about 71 inches long, I pulled those out. Now I got a whole empty wall where I can just bring pallets.
That's a lot of pallet space.
Yeah, it is. It is. So that's what I'm working on, and hopefully I have everything together when we come back in February. With what?
Hey, if you get little people collection boxes, I'll buy in bulk. Just
What
Network.
what was that?
Can you show me one?
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a few over here. So Tommy, 20 years from now, have you ever considered like saving some of this stuff to be collector's items to be worth more later, or are you just in the here and now?
Yeah, I'm the here now, man.
Okay.
I have two cases full of CGC signed comic books.
Mm.
Like I think I made everything in there is a 9.8, 9.9, and I may have 110. And I have a high-end Stan Lee first Spider-Man signed. The last time I checked, that comic book was like 9,000 something dollars.
Heck yeah.
Wow.
Now that type stuff right there, I'm probably just gonna pass it on to my son. You know, I don't. You know, I bought them at one point to see, you know, if I could flip them or whatever. But I feel like by the time he get to be my age, he probably have a little gold mine on his hand if he take care of it.
One would hope for sure.
Hashtag Empire. She's got
I mean,
those
I
little
can,
people for you to look at.
I think those Gulf Coast have seen them before, but because I used to give one or two away, like season 3, I think it was on our podcast. But I got the case that you can put them in, separate them. Yeah, man, that's something that could be around for 20 years. And like I said, you know, my son do whatever with them. I mean, I'll leave them for him because, you know, when you talk about 20 years, man, I'm 50, I'm 58, 59, and 20 years, man, I might be going to the next place, bro.
No, you're gonna be with us forever. Buffalo for life.
Because I can't believe you said 50. I said no, sir. No,
Yeah.
sir.
Well,
Okay,
Does your son help you out in the business?
my son?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, when I need him the most, you know, he'll break away and come because what I try not to do is be a distraction for him with schooling. My son pretty much got a honors society letter for his grades, and I try to keep him focused on his grades. That's his job, is his grades.
His
He don't
mom
have
must
no
be smart.
excuses not to keep his grades where they need to be. And I think this last semester, his average was 96. So
Wow.
I want him to stay with that. But when I need him the most, like Whatnot, we did that last Whatnot show, and we sold, I think we had 84 orders, and a lot of those were big orders. Man, he had to come. I told him, I'm gonna need you for 2 days. You know, that was some work right there. You know, but I wanted to test it to see, you know, basically how it would feel to run a show for more than 3 hours. But I learned that that's about the limit. We're gonna stick to 3 hours because it's just
you
too
do
much.
what
Because
you
you
can.
can't predict how much people gonna buy. You know, and
Well,
when
time
you
is
start
money,
talking
and
about
it's
80
work.
something boxes, man, that's rough. And they still, even though we do it on Sunday, they still want you to ship by Tuesday. You know.
Yeah, they don't give you that 3 days.
Yeah. So I try to keep my performance up over there so I can get paid quick, and you know. But yeah, man, it's I love it though. I love the people when they really supporting you. You know, when they really come, when you see that, oh, this him been to every show or she done been to every show. You know, that's good. And when you start seeing the numbers, like, you know, it's 30-some people that constantly come to your show, and then you get the add-ons. You know, they putting the word out for you. You know, they sharing your show. I mean, that's good, man. Because I think when it was all said and done, I think we had 68 people in the show, and we probably had like 15 new buyers.
That's
You know,
awesome.
and we had people that was getting it up to like silver and gold level, you know, with the rewards.
Yeah.
You know? So
In one
I was
show.
like, man, we had one guy, he was like, I got one more buy, I'm gonna be platinum. I like, bro, we got
Time to go.
Yeah, we gotta go, bro. But yeah, I like it, man. I like how they do business. You know, the customer service aspect of it. You know, I don't have no complaints about them right now.
Community. We love toys. Amanda's got some little people to show you.
Okay,
So-
yeah.
So this is what they are, but just the backstory on these. So these were from Target, and they originally retailed for $29.99,
Right,
and they were 70% off.
right.
So I paid $8 plus
Oh,
the
that's
plus the 5% with my Target card, and I'm
Right.
selling them for 22.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh, you know, I got some of those. Not the
Of course you do.
Superman.
so I
But
have this one. I
yeah,
have a bunch of different. I have a bunch of NFL ones. I've also bought them from Kohl's on clearance.
right,
And I have this one. Here's another one.
right.
So these I recently got in the last couple weeks clearance.
How
And
much was
actually
that? How much was that Stitch?
$7.99, 70% off.
Well, I'll tell you, that's good right there.
Yeah,
That's
I had
good.
someone from shout her out, Mama Cat Thrifter, love her to death.
Right.
She actually sent me 3 of these, and she sent me like 4 Superman. And when we recently went to Tennessee for a meetup, we stopped at 2 Targets, and I was able to get some too. So I was super excited about that.
So Tommy, we're gonna fold you into our network.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be
So-
messaging you when we find stuff.
If you find
All right.
at Target, the collection sets are in electronics by the Funkos.
Right. Right.
And then I do find these at Ross. I do find them at Marshalls and TJ Maxx for $7.99 and lower.
And Ollie's too. Don't forget about
too.
Ollie's if you have an Ollie's.
Ollie's, I found them
Right.
there. But these retail for really good, and I do little people. Previously, we did it on Rocket City Resellers, but I'm going to be taking it over on my channel on Whatnot,
Right.
Fiona Finds.
and you sell them as the set?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, you could break it open if you wanted to, but then if you know what you paid for it, so you know what the start has to be. So by the time
Right.
you're done selling it, they might as well just bought the whole box.
set.
And
Sometimes people are weird about that. It's
Yeah.
almost worth it to break them open.
yeah, we
at
did that
times.
recently on a show. We had the
Yeah.
whole Frozen set, and they wanted just a couple, and they ended up paying more than what we wanted for the whole set
Right.
for that one
Right.
little person.
Hey man, that's one thing about it. You know, people want it bad enough, they gonna pay what they
Well,
what they think it's worth.
yeah.
Yeah,
So and it's funny you say that. I know we kind of briefly touched before you came in, but that happened to me yesterday with a Douglas plush. I had no idea what I had
Yeah.
until I did. And when I started the auction, it was at $315 for pre-bids.
Wow.
And it ended up selling for $440. So I mean, that was a happy accident for sure. But
Oh yeah.
the other thing with these two is I recently opened up a booth inside of like how you can go to the stores where they have the stand-up booths inside like an antique store or whatever.
Yeah.
I started putting these in there too, and they're selling there as well. So that's cool. But if you
That's
come
great.
across collector sets and you get a good deal, hit me up. I'll take them.
Put us in that network.
I have the Harry Potter.
Yeah, they
I
were at
did.
clearance at Walmart too.
Yeah, I did. I had Wednesday and Harry Potter.
Yep.
And once I started running those on the show, they was running them up. And I was like, I ain't say it out loud, but I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, man, people love little people like that. You know,
Well-
because I had the NFL
Mm-hmm.
and several teams from the NFL that was at TJ Maxx. They had marked them down to $5.
Yep.
So I didn't even know, I just comped them. And I was like, okay, got a nice comp. So I just bought them all.
Yep.
And I had a few left over. And then at Walmart, I was getting them for $4 for the Wednesday and Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started putting those things up, man, they was running it up. I was like, wow, they love that. Okay.
Yeah. So we've been selling little people on Whatnot since 2023.
Wow.
And now there's these younger moms that are coming up that are making TikToks about little people. So
Yeah.
it literally has exploded.
Oh, okay.
And some of the people that people are paying for these things is like ridiculous.
The prices will
Just
surprise you, Tommy.
And now it's kind of hard because it's become a little oversaturated, and that's okay, because
Right.
everybody wants to try to sell it, to find it, to get a piece of that.
Right.
So, but yeah, we have a pretty good following for it, and I enjoy selling them. So
Yeah, you know what I think about, you know, the oversaturation is that, you know, a lot of these people, they ain't really resellers at heart, you know, so they're gonna be in as long as they can make some money. When they
right,
can't make the money, they out, you know,
right.
or they
Mhm.
take
They'll
too many
still be
losses,
there.
you know, then they out, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the way I look at that. You know, the whatnot. I think if you a true reseller, you're gonna excel on whatnot, because one thing, if you look at my reviews, a lot of people give me 5s on my shipping. You know, because for one, I ship fast, because that's where you're on condition as a reseller that, you
Hmm.
know, you got to get it out there if you're gonna want to get paid. You
Right.
know, so
Yep, you
I
gotta
ship
get that out the door.
fast, and I try to pack it and ship it the way I want to receive it.
Hmm.
You know, so I think, you know, whatnot is definitely made for us. And the person that is just gonna think they got a fad, you know, little people selling, let me go buy a few and go and whatnot, try to sell them, they're not gonna last.
No. I've had people reach out to me to buy them out in bulk because they just don't have the following for it, or the patience, because you know they're
Right,
not selling, because they're, so you come into one of our shows and let's just say this sells for $45. Okay, now
right,
they see it out in the wild, they're like, I'm gonna get $45. You probably won't, and that's not part of the arrogancy at all. It's just
right.
the fact of it is you're not going to probably have the people in your show that are willing to pay it, because you don't normally sell this.
You didn't spend
Right.
2 years on whatnot, building a
Like
community around it,
I
right?
can't go
Right.
into Lover Dog show and see her sell Ryobi and go buy a Ryobi saw and be like, hey, come buy this for me. There's the expectation. That's ridiculous. So I mean that does happen too.
So,
And
so do you have a starting price for those when you put them out there?
so for these I'm selling them at 22. And like I said, I paid 8 and
That's
change.
be your starting price for that?
Mm-hmm.
Or you just sell them, or you do the auction?
We
No,
do buy it now on
we
those.
do buy it
Oh,
now. So
buy
if
it
someone
now.
comes in
Okay.
and asks, they ask how much it is, I'll sell it
Okay.
for that. I
Right.
don't run these I can run it as an auction if more than one person, but a lot of times these for me sell just by request.
Okay.
And then in my booth, I have quite a few of these as well. Once we get closer to hey, Kenton, once we get closer to Christmas, I know what I paid and I know what I can make. I'll probably drop it just to like push it to get some of those
Right.
sales,
Right.
because this is one of those things that, like Barbie, it's timeless. Once they're out and they're gone.
They're evergreen, right? Little people have been around forever, so has Barbie.
So it's
We love
one of
those
those
evergreen
things that
brands,
if you
you know?
don't get it when it came out, the likelihood of you getting it, it's going to be a repop. It's going to be something different. It's not going to be that. So
Right.
I see the same value in toys like you do. It's always a need. There's always a birthday. There's always an incentive. There's always an reward. There's always a holiday. So for me, I see it the same way as if I have it today or versus a month from now, someone's going to want it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. Even that's the thing. That's how I look at it as well, is that even if they don't buy it now, somebody may want it a month from now.
Right.
You know, and it still got the same value.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
so that's why that's why I got locked in on toys. You know, I just got a deal with mess with Gulf Coast over here. I just got a deal with Squishmallow.
Oh, God.
Listen,
Squishmallow.
when they make a comeback, you and I are gonna have every Squishmallow in the world that everybody's gonna want. Nobody else is gonna have it, so they're gonna be coming to us. I keep saying that.
Yeah. Man, I got I think maybe 50 or more for $3.
What?
Dang.
15 and what's the next one up? 15, is it
24.
16?
18 and 24.
Okay, so it's 18 and 24. That's the mix.
Wow.
$3 a piece.
$3
or $3
a
the
piece.
whole thing. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Is it mixed or is it all like the same?
No, they mix.
Nice.
They mix. I got them over at the warehouse now. I had them separate them. But I just and that was the second wave. The first wave, I already shipped to. I think I shipped half to. No, I sent 2/3 of them to Amazon, and I'm going to send a third to Walmart.
What's the performance like on those now? Because I know that they're kind of falling off a little bit.
Yeah, they're falling off, but the ones that I got,
They're not dead. They're not dead.
No, they're not dead. I'm not saying that.
No, they ain't dead. Cause
I don't think they'll ever be dead.
There's still a little bit of a heartbeat there, just a little.
Yeah,
bit.
because I know when they first said, we got a lot in the rafters and you could get them, and we'll let you get them for $3. I was like, I need to comp them. I don't know about that. I need to comp them. So when I comped them, that's why I took so many and sent to Amazon, because the comp was way better for that set, and the other one's going to Walmart. But yeah, it's still some value in them.
I think so, especially when you can get them for that price that you
Yeah,
pay.
exactly.
Heck yeah, that's a
You
no
weren't calling
brainer.
them squishmallows, though. You were calling them something totally different. I
was calling them squash.
Squashmallows. That's
Yeah.
We were all making
Different podcast.
Yeah. I was like, man, boy, Coach ain't gonna ride me on that one, boy. Let me go ahead and straighten up my vocabulary. But yeah, man, the little people, like I said, I didn't know that they was that popular until we started running them at the live.
Yeah.
So now when I see them, they don't even have to offer them to me. I go ask. It's like, these, when y'all gonna put these on clearance, so I can get them for a good price. But the ones that you're showing, was those like Target exclusives or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know I haven't seen those.
Somebody just wanted to see one, so I'm just gonna hold it up.
Make it big.
So here's one, and then the other one. I mean, there's so many different varieties. I found Will and Grace. Bob found Will and Grace for me at TJ Maxx or Marshalls.
Yeah, I think.
So that's what they are.
But
they're placed in different places in different stores. Like I said, Target, they're in the electronics area over by the Funko.
When you're at TJ Maxx and Marshalls, you got to really lock in though, because man, it's a mess over there. You got to lock in, man.
There's no, they put the stuff over here.
Forget about Ross.
Yeah. When we go there, sometimes they still have the big Waco boxes or Granger boxes, whatever you call them. What are they called? The big brown boxes.
Gaylord boxes.
Yeah, and it's kind of like poo in the honey pot. You go in and then your feet are dangling because you could fall in because they haven't put it to the floor yet. So there's no rhyme or reason.
I've been in quite a few like that, man. You just got them out there sitting, and you got to go basically look for yourself.
Yeah.
Tommie, she's got an Ultimate Warrior and a Macho Man Randy Savage that she won't sell me.
Say again now?
She got an Ultimate Warrior and a Macho Man Randy Savage little people that she won't sell me.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Why? I mean, it's super valuable or something?
Well, it's her uncle. So Uncle Randy. Uncle Randy.
Her maiden name is Savage.
It is.
Oh, okay.
But
that's your relative?
No, we joke around.
I was about to say because I got some history with Randy Savage designer, but I can't talk about it on the social media.
That's okay. I mean, there could be lineage. Who the heck knows? Maybe if I did the ancestry.com and be like, well, for real, I am. I don't know.
She's a for real savage, though. I'll tell you that. We've been married 10 years. I can attest to it. That's for sure.
Yeah. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's kind of, I guess we do dabble in retail arbitrage a little bit with that, but we don't have the volume to send it in, obviously, anywhere to do that, or the desire or the bandwidth at this moment. If we add one more thing to our plate, it's going to be.
We need a warehouse.
Buffet. It's going to be beyond buffet pants. Like, it's bad.
Tommie, how'd you get into the warehouse? What did that look like in the beginning? Because I'm sure that's how you started, right?
Yeah. No. So when I started reselling, we had moved into a 2-bedroom apartment. We was waiting for our house to get built. And so I remember Miss Buffalo used to come home. I used to have the whole living room covered with stuff on the couches, stuff on the floor, the coffee table, on the dining table. I just had stuff everywhere, just trying to get it, into the laptop and stuff. So we did that. I think we had to stay there just a little bit over a year because we had some shortfalls with things that they didn't meet the deadline with the house and stuff. And once we got out there, I went into a 2-car garage. I worked out of there for a good year. And once I started getting in some pallets, I was like, I'm running out of space. I need to find somewhere I can kind of do this away from the house. So probably about 10 minutes from the house, they had this little industrial area where they had some nice, they was older, but they nice, well-kept warehouses. And they had like this introductory rate that was real low. Like for the 2,500 square foot, you just had to put $1,500 down, and the first and last month, which was at that time $1,100, which came out to be $2,200. So you pretty much I had to come out with about $3,700 to get into the warehouse for starts. But I needed it, because without that warehouse, I wasn't going to grow.
Right.
I was going to stay right where I was, continue to move the same type of products, the same amount of products, because when you ain't got the space, you limited, and one thing about the warehouse, one thing you do have is space, and I remember when I first got into that warehouse, I had a bad deal. I bought 26 pallets, a truckload of inventory, that, it wasn't on my friend who I trusted. It was the person that he was going through to buy it and have it shipped to me. So it basically was an unmanifested load. And, I didn't have like eyesight on the load. It was just that it was like I trusted that, they was going to get me what I paid for. So I got that stuff into the warehouse and come to find out that probably about 60% of the load was trash. When I say 60% was trash, it was trash. Now,
Like Dollar Tree trash?
Like trash, like dust, dirt, paper, plastic, goods that was like broken and just thrown into a container. So, but I was smart enough to take what I had, do a warehouse sale, get everything situated, do a warehouse sale. And I was able to, break even, which I had put about 10,500 into the load.
Damn.
So I was able to get about, I think, I probably was a little bit over breaking even. I probably got about 12 back, maybe 12, maybe 13.
What did you originally anticipate profiting on that?
Well, based on what I was told, it was 68,000.
Damn.
Yeah, so it almost broke me out of reselling. It almost made me
I'll
quit.
believe it.
It was a few days I went in there looking at all those pallets.
What did I do?
Yeah, I'm like shaking my head, like, what I'm gonna do, this and that. But once I was able to do that sale, get that stuff gone, majority of it gone, there's still a few things lingering around. I got the warehouse set up like I wanted it, and I was like, Almighty, if you could just bless me to get this place filled with good quality stuff, I would be very appreciative, and I would never stop telling people, what you've done for me. And now that's how you have to kind of be careful and be specific what you ask for, because now I have that. And it's like I'm busting my butt now to get that stuff out of there.
Listen, you asked and he provided, and here you are.
Yeah, man. Hey,
every blessing has a burden.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I have been highly favored in this resale game. But my thing is, and I'm going to say this for the people that may watch it later, is that you got to give in order to receive. You can't have
Can you
your
say that
hands
again?
like this.
Can you say that one more time?
Yeah, you got to give in order to receive, because
Amen.
if you got your hands like this, you can't receive.
Right.
You know, and I'm a firm believer that if I can help you, I'm going to help you. And you come to my show, I'm always doing giveaways. You know, on it.
Plenty of them.
Hey,
Ryan always wins.
we got one little asterisk though with
Yeah, I moved out of the office.
When that storm hit, he wasn't able to get his package, and they returned it back to me. So he just told me to do whatever with it or just give it away. So I still got that package. So come to the show Sunday, you might can win it again.
Twice.
Matter of fact, that's gonna be something that I'll bring here and put up for the giveaway.
Be like rigged.
Yeah, that's what I do, man. I do that, and people be like, "Oh, you always giving stuff away. How can you do that?"
Mhm.
I'm blessed. I don't worry about what man can do or what man think. I do what it's from the heart.
Well,
You
and
know, when I give,
Mhm.
it's given without the expectation of receiving anything back.
I was just gonna say that is the difference between you and somebody else, because people who genuinely give are not worrying about what's coming back.
Right. I don't.
Because when you give genuinely, it just happens. You don't have to expect it. You don't have to.
That's why I get what I get with reselling. I'm a firm believer that that my blessings, the favor that I get in reselling is come from the Almighty. You know, I don't worry about what I get back from man, because it doesn't matter.
Right.
If I give somebody something and they feel like they need to give me something back, I'm not going to stop my blessing. If you want to give me something back, I will receive it.
Right.
But I'm not going to be asking. I'm not going to come back. I gave you this, so why you can't give me that? No, I don't do that. I don't do that at all.
And that all comes back. That all comes back to intentions too, right? So
yeah.
So good for you. Good for you.
Yep. So, but to the warehouse thing, the 3,700, that's what I had to come up with initially. And these people, I have to take care of utilities, of course, but the water is free. Of course, they want to find out though. You like what you're gonna be doing, or you're gonna be washing cars. They want to find out you're gonna be using a lot of water, but you get the water for free, and the space. I mean, you can do whatever in those places. I'm talking about 2,500 square foot plus you got an upstairs. That's normally, like, for me, any overstock stuff that I know I'm not going to process that year, I put it upstairs. So now it's like today I was up there inventorying a lot of stuff that I'm figuring out if I'm going to ship it to Amazon or Walmart just to get it from up there, because I don't really want anything up there once I get into the new way of how I'm going to run the warehouse. Mm-hmm. But it's initial. It could be expensive, to get into those places. But I can guarantee you, once you get in there, you can come up with all kind of ways of making money in those spaces. I know one guy, he got a warehouse. He ran 3 businesses out of that warehouse.
Wow.
Resale is just one of them.
Nice.
There's no limitation to the hustle when you have the mindset, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What do you think has helped you with your mindset, like in reselling? Mostly faith, I would think. But
how do you stop from getting discouraged?
Right.
Yeah.
The discouragement and other things that kind of chew at you.
Roadblock you.
Well, I can say for one, what we own right now, social media. Once you put yourself out there, people are going to have an expectation of you. And that's, to me, is like the motivator for me to not fail. And when I run into any roadblocks or whatever, I always think about perseverance. Not gonna let this roadblock stop me, because I know people watching. I got the people watching that are pulling for me. I got the people watching that's really waiting for me to fall.
Oh.
You know, so that's like the motivation for me to keep me going, even when I get discouraged, you know, because I have those moments, even though, you know, people come in my warehouse and they're like, oh man, you got so much stuff. Yeah, I do have a lot of stuff. However, there are moments when I feel like I done had enough. You know, I want to do something else. Or I just, you know, I don't want to do this today. You know, I have those moments, but at the same time, I have to take things in perspective that, look, you asked for this, you got it. What you gonna do about it? You know, and for me, it's like I know, you know, I don't share a lot of my social media, like, you know, because I'm not the type of person to be like, look, you know, this guy right here wrote me, you know, look at him, you know, he hating on me, you know, this guy over here saying I'm lying about my inventory, this guy right here saying all your stuff fake from China, you know, all kind of stuff, you know, that I could put out there and put people on blast, but I don't, you know, because to me, that doesn't matter. You know, what they're doing is, to me, it's like they want to be me, but they can't be me, so they're gonna try to hate on me.
Yeah.
You know, so anytime I go through something that make me want to stop or quit, or, you know, a roadblock or whatever, you know, I just think about that. You know, I asked for this, and I got to do my part. You know, nobody gonna come and do my part. I got to do my part. It's only me in that foxhole, and I got to do my part. So that's what I look at. I look at that. I made a ton of videos of me out here doing the resale, trying to give people advice. How it would look for you to be out here giving all this advice, and then all of a sudden you just quit. With no reason, you just quit because you ran into a roadblock. I'm not built like that.
Yeah, we love the message about transparency and reselling, defending the hustle. I'm a new fan to your channel.
I appreciate it.
I thought I said that in Instagram when I messaged you. So I'm gaining a lot of insight regarding a lot of the wisdom that you're providing. So I want to just tell you that it's appreciated from a reseller to reseller.
Thank you.
Definitely.
And not everybody is really transparent about the lows. It's always the highs you hear about. You don't hear about the other part of it, or how you had to walk through it, or, you know, what you had to manipulate in order to see past that, to see the other side, where the victory is, where the finish line is. Because reselling isn't a race, right? It's a marathon. We're constantly going. We're constantly trying to, you know, be better, you know, beat the next time, whatever it is that you're doing. So I don't think, when, in my experience, some of the people that we watched in the beginning, that we still watch, are good, but then you have the few that just want to tell you all the highs and not the lows. So when you experience the lows, you don't know how to deal with that, because all you saw is someone succeeding because you put out that. So that's what you think is going to happen to you, and it's not realistic.
Yeah, you know, the thing is success sells. You know, everybody want to see the win, you know.
For sure.
You got a few people that will come for the loss, you know, but most people are there just to see the win, because what they want to see is how you won so that they can duplicate it.
Right. And it doesn't work.
I remember making a video saying, you know, I quit reselling. And I'm telling you, that thing got a lot of views. That thing got a lot of views, but, you know, and the crazy thing was, people were hitting me up saying, man, you know, why you made a video like that? I thought you were for real, you know, like, what, you want me to quit?
Right.
You know, but yeah, I mean, you know, people, you know, and I'm guilty of that. You know, I try to make videos when I'm out here in the wild. I try to make videos of the wins. You know, now I do go through some losses, but I don't put them out there. But when you come to my live, I'm very transparent on what's going on in the resale world with me. You know, because that's the level or the atmosphere that I want to set up for the show, that, you know, I'm very transparent. You can ask me what you want to ask me about reselling. I ain't got nothing to hide about it, you know. And that's what I try to set up on the show. Even when we used to run our shows similar to you all doing it now, I used to bring guests on my shows, you know, until season 5, and I just kind of cut it off. But that's one thing I would tell the guests in the green room, is that, you know, don't shoot from the hip. it's okay if you don't know, because one thing we don't want to do is set people up for failure on this show, and I tell my panel that as well. I have to constantly, put that out there that, like, hey, don't shoot from the hip. We don't know. We just don't know, because nobody know everything.
Right.
Right.
I mean, we're constantly learning all the time.
Yeah.
Because, there's something we know that you may not know, and vice versa. And
I learned something tonight. I learned something tonight. Legos. Yeah.
And that's just because we are Lego builders in this household. We love Harry Potter. Our son loves Marvel. So that's what we have here. Right. So now that's probably why they're doing that. And now maybe you'll make different selections when you're in the store. You'll buy the one that looks a little tattered, because maybe if there is something missing, someone was going to hold value in that because they can replace it. And the same thing, just, with little people, when there's a recall, Mattel will replace it for you for free as well. So if there's a recall on a little person, there was one on the Mickey and Friends, the heads were popping off.
Right.
So I have sold a couple on Whatnot with the disclaimer, hey, buyer, buy beware, like, you want to buy it, but you can also reach out to Mattel and they'll replace it for you. So now they're also getting a good deal. Plus now they're going to get it replaced.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Did you send me a invite to be in the Bolo group?
No, we have a Resellers Refuge Facebook group. It's not necessarily a Bolo group. It's more so like where people can come and talk about reselling and not have condemnation. Because a lot of times in reselling groups, it's like, did you Google search it? They make people feel bad about the questions that they want to ask. Right. And sometimes it's the same question for the millionth time, and they make them feel less than. So this group is more about, like, not if you've been selling for 5 minutes or 50 years, it doesn't matter. It's a safe place to ask questions, hang out, talk reselling, just be a uplifter, be a cheerleader, be a team player. So
what's the name of it again?
It's on Facebook. It's Resellers Refuge, and that's apostrophe S, Resellers Refuge. And of course, there's a dupe group that started up after we started ours, but ours has a palm tree, and it's like
reselling's a vacation.
It's like Whatnot and eBay this way. The refuge is here. We're not, type of thing.
Right.
So, yeah, but I highly recommend anybody that's, sick of those type of Facebook groups, and because you want to surround yourself with the people you want to become, right? If you want to become great, surround yourself with greatness.
Exactly.
Like iron sharpens iron. So like-minded people, business people. So can't say enough about that.
Does anybody in the chat have any questions for Buffalo?
Yeah. Now's your chance.
Now's your chance. I'm gonna go look at the
Resale dad. Resale dad said he don't never win. That joke always winning.
Yeah. Another person I need to follow on YouTube. I swear there's not enough hours in the day sometimes. Right. Working a 9 to 5 and doing this too. It's a lot.
Yeah. I remember those days.
Yeah, I can't complain. I'm more than blessed, and Amanda has the opportunity to be full time doing this. So we're really blessed to.
That's good, man. That's teamwork right there.
Yeah, but your 2-bedroom apartment or one bed is our house. So so like we're
at capacity.
Yeah, we are.
We thought about getting a building this year, and
we almost did it.
Almost pulled the trigger. Almost did.
But it just didn't meet our needs financially.
Right.
We felt we could do bigger, pay more, and the return on the investment be better. So we decided to hold off and still continue. I mean, we in no means are like not able to move in our house. But I mean, some days it feels like that just because of the processing, the way we process our stuff.
Yeah.
But I think within the next year, I think we're going to be end up in a building. We're just going to have to, just because
it might be one built on property, though. Yeah, I'm thinking
it might.
It just makes the most sense.
Way to go right now.
So, anyways,
that's the way to go right there.
Well, the biggest thing for me is, like, I know we've talked about this before, is because we work out of the home, there's no separation. So having a building out in the backyard where I can walk away and lock the door and come back in house and be in my home, is really attractive. So those are like the goals for the next year to work
because you
towards
think
building.
about you being in a rental space. Within a year, you could be paid for your own building.
Yeah,
you know.
for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
definitely.
It can get expensive.
For sure. Well, Tommie, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast. It's been enlightening.
Wealth of information.
It's
Thank
the
you
transparency,
so much. Yeah.
the realness, the rawness, the liveness, the unedited versions. I mean, all the things. That's what we're about on this podcast.
Right.
So we appreciate you, defender of the hustle, the Buffalo picker.
Tell everybody where they can catch you at.
Yeah. Where can
Yeah.
they
Where
find
can they grab you?
All right. So you can find me on Instagram at Buffalo Picker _. No, it's Buffalo _ I got it wrong down there. It's Buffalo _ Picker 43.
Okay.
You can find me on YouTube at Buffalo Picker Defend the Hustle. You can find me on TikTok at Buffalo Picker, and also on Whatnot, Buffalo Picker on Whatnot. So just go ahead, and if you are interested in toys, you can go and bookmark the show. I have a show bookmarked for February, but we may be back in January, depending on how things smooth out with this liquidation deal I'm trying to get, and so you'll be informed on what kind of changes we make to the show. So other than that, that's pretty much where you can find me.
Nice, man. We want to wish you a happy fourth quarter. I'm hoping sales are going to be beating your expectations, and we're looking forward to seeing what's coming next. Make sure you guys are checking out the Buffalo Picker on YouTube. Defend the Hustle.
Sure.
What night is that on again?
It's Sunday nights at 7:30.
7:30 Eastern.
Yeah. Eastern time, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
Eastern.
Right.
Okay. Well, Tommie, thank you again. I want to just remind everybody, if you can't be good at it. We'll catch you on the next one. Hey,
Y'all
Tommie,
take
hang
care.
out
Stay
in the
blessed.
green room. We want to talk to you.
All right, appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me.
All about the you, baby.